Every Monday here on BBC Tees, we like to get to know our local MPs a little bit better, and we do that by sitting down with them and just having a chat, because every time we seem to speak to our local MPs on BBC Tees, it's like sort of holding them to account on stuff that affects you, affects the country, and you just don't get to find out the person. Now, this week, it's Andy MacDonald. It's Labour MP for Middlesbrough and Shadow Transport Secretary. It's his turn. Now, he started telling me about his pride of being from the town.
I know everybody loves their hometown, their home city, but there's something about borough people which just it's unbelievable. The determination and the skill and the ability, and we get bad press. There's a lot of sneering goes on. It annoys the hell out of me, because I was at an academic meeting, some highfalutin politics, and it was somebody of my political persuasion, and they were waxing lyrical about all these nice theories, with which I agreed, actually. But she made the passing comment about being offended by the skyline of Middlesbrough and Teesside. I said, oh yeah, okay. Hackles up. I said, just be a bit careful about that, because that represents blood, sweat and tears. And these are the people in this place who built the world. We have not been treated well by successive governments of all persuasions, because we did put the shoulders to the wheel. We built the bridges. We did all the business, and we have not been rewarded, or that's not been recognised. We've moved away from our manufacturing bases. But don't ever say that. And I think the person concerned said how much she liked Newcastle skyline. I thought, yeah, we built it.
So, who was it?
No, I'm not telling you. But she's well educated now. She says, well, no, sorry, I recognise that. It's somebody who just had no experience of these of our culture.
How do you, as a human being, keep all these things going? What do you do for downtime?
Well, there isn't much, albeit that may or may not have heard of it. I was in the Joe Walker band. I was a keyboard player and I sang. I've been in loads of bands over the years. So I played the piano at home, and then Joe sadly died a couple of weeks ago, and we didn't really get the chance to get together with the rest of the lads. So I said to one of them, the lad I was in partnership with as a solicitor, he was the guitarist, I was a keyboard player, and I just said to Keith, I said, look, you and I should get together. We should start playing the music. So he said, right, okay, we'll do it. That's the end. I said, hang on, doesn't work like that. You get your day. I'll send you an email. I'll give you a day. And I tell you, it was 4 weeks before we've got a slot, and he's coming round our house, and I'm going to play the piano. He's going to play the guitar, and we're going to do that. And I'm going to get a game of golf in, that's for sure, because I'm playing about twice a year, and I really enjoy it. I'm rubbish at it. I'm about 26 handicap, but I thoroughly enjoy it. And I tell you what, I'll be perfectly honest, Parliament, Westminster, I don't like it one bit. It's just a place of work where you can get things done. And on a Sunday night, it's like going back to school for me. It's just, I don't want to go. I really don't want to go. I'm like whinging, to my mum or something. I don't
you have the bath as well, a bath on a Sunday night.
But as soon as I'm on the train, I'm back into it. But it's that wrench away from home and from family that is a real downside of the job. But it's the best means we've got to make changes for places like this. So I'm very honoured to do it, very privileged to do it. So I shouldn't really whinge too much.
Was politics always going to be for you?
I suppose it was, really. I've been, people who say who inspired you and all the rest of it, and you can look to all sorts of wonderful people, Clement Attlee, Mahatma Gandhi, you can see all these great political figures, and through the Labour movement over the years, back to Keir Hardie. But I'll be perfectly honest, the person who inspired me to come into politics was Margaret Thatcher.
Why?
Because I knew when she stood on the steps of Downing Street and recited the prayer of St. Francis of Assisi, saying, where there is darkness, let there be light. Where there is despair, let there be hope. I thought, the opposite is going to be true. This is going to be a very dark and cold ride that this country's in for. And I thought, we've got to stop it. And I saw what happened to the miners. And I thought, this is totally wrong. So I came in when she became Prime Minister.
And also, I asked him the best thing about being an MP.
Oh, there's so many things that are really brilliant about it. I mean, being in Westminster, you can make a difference, even from opposition. We had the little thing on the cannabis oil issue the other day, and just being able to intervene make that case and move that agenda on. I mean, where is there any greater reward than that? You know, I could sit at home and thinking, I'm really cross about this, something's going to happen. But I've got the privilege of actually being there to help it happen and to, you know, obviously hold this government to account and say, look, I think we can have a better society, we can have a better economy, a healthier, more prosperous world. And being at the heart of that is just incredibly rewarding. It's so stimulating as well. And as you've heard, the brief is incredibly demanding. And so your brain is just firing off all of the time, trying to cope and make sure that you've got all this under your belt, so that when very clever interviewers ask you questions, you know, you've got some semi-intelligent answer to give to them.
You're not looking at me when you're saying that, I'm glad to say. So what's the worst thing? Come on, the worst thing, the real bad thing about being an MP?
I think what I said before, leaving town every Sunday night or being down in London at a weekend because I've got obligations down there and not being home, that's what drives me nuts. And the other part of it is just that sense of establishment and elite. It drives me crazy. You know, when I walk around Westminster Hall, you know, the big hall, and I see children from the private schools, and they're, you know, looking so well, and they're tall and they're upright, and they look as if they belong. So, and it's almost their divine right that they will, should they wish, either go into that line of work or something else akin, be it in the city or other, or civil service. And I get our kids coming down. I tell them the story. You stand up straight. This is your parliament. You're a citizen of this country. And this is where we do the work for you, for your community. Make that connection, and you've got every right to be here. And if you want to come and do my job in the generations ahead, you can.
Who do you knock around with when you're down at Parliament? Who's your friends?
A lot of the North Eastern MPs. In the North East, Ian Lavery from Northumberland. I got a good crack with him, and Graham Morris and Ian Mains from, so that's Easington and Gateshead respectively. And football is a big issue. We rib each other mercilessly. And Mike Hill travels down with us as well on the train, so I'll see a bit of him. And Paul and Alex and around here, of course. So see a good deal of them. But you know, you do find yourself sort of gravitating to a few people, and I think it's the northeastern football that keeps us teasing each other mercilessly. You know, poor old Sunderland.
Which is a good one. Right, I'll leave you in peace because I've taken too much of your time. But what I've asked all the MPs when I've been out about, a fact about yourself, a fascinating fact, something that not a lot of people would know. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but come on, hit me with it.
People won't know that I was actually in a punk rock band. Seriously, I was in a punk rock band called Nasty Media. Bizarrely, it became very successful. I've got to say, much of it before I joined, but we just did some dreadful songs that were just horrible sounds, but people loved them.
Mohican and everything.
Oh, we had all the gear, we had all the studs and the rings and all. They're all press-ons, like. We just took them off afterwards. We didn't actually go for the piercings. We actually just unclipped them afterwards.
Punk rock MP there.